Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel of Mr. Footballer Loons, and today I'm doing Game Week 11 predictions of the Premier League, and I'm going to be starting off on the 4th of November. It's going to be Fulham at Craven Cottage facing Manchester United. Now Manchester United last game played against Manchester City and they got battered 3-0. Defensively was poor in that game. Yes, it is Man City, but they could have done a bit better defensively all over the place, and they've been very unconvincing this season. They're facing Fulham, which haven't been really convincing themselves. They just about got a 1-1 draw against Brighton. In my opinion, they didn't deserve it in that game. They didn't play particularly well, but they still got the point over the line. I could definitely see Fulham getting a point here. This is probably the best time for Fulham to play Manchester United, but Manchester United's going to have to recover, and surely they will. I feel like it's going to be an unconvincing win to Manchester United, just about, and Fulham isn't doing particularly well either, so I'm afraid I'm going to edge Manchester United just about to win this 2-1. Moving on to the next game, it is Brentford at the G-Tech Stadium facing West Ham United, and Brentford did fantastic, winning it 2-0 against Chelsea last game at Stamford Bridge. Obviously in the first half they weren't really in the game that much, but there was a few counter-attacking moments. Obviously they caught Sanchez off guard. Maupay could have probably got himself a goal, but for some reason he decided to be unselfish and give it to his teammate. But going against West Ham United, which lost 1-0 against Everton, and you know what? They struggled to get past that Everton defence. You know, they definitely did struggle. They had the dominant possession. They didn't play particularly amazing against Everton, as they did lose at 1-0. And Brentford have won back-to-back. 2-0 against Chelsea, 3-0 against Burnley. And with home advantage Brentford, I feel like this might be a draw. I feel like West Ham, they obviously lost against Everton. That wasn't fantastic. I feel like they will recover against Brentford. And Brentford are also doing well. West Ham have started off well, other than the Everton slip-up. But overall, I feel like this comes down to the middle. It comes to a classic Brentford 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game is at the Etihad Stadium. It is Manchester City facing AFC Bournemouth, and AFC Bournemouth got their first win of the Premier League season against Burnley, only just about. There was an offside goal nearer to the end, but Bournemouth, that is a very good sign for Bournemouth. But I would say going away against Man City, which thrashed Manchester United, I am going obviously for a Manchester City win, especially at home. So I'm going for a 4-0 smacking to Manchester City. Sorry Bournemouth fans, but Man City is going to win it 4-0 in my opinion. Moving on to the next game is at Bramall Lane. It's Sheffield United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. And obviously the big news of Pedro Neto pulling his hamstring against Newcastle United. And you know what, overall Wolverhampton Wanderers, they have surprised me in how well they've played in the last 5 or so games. They've played fantastic. The front three of Cunha, Neto and Hwang is fantastic. Hwang, great goal. You know, it's really good signs by Wolves. You know what? They look quick on the attack. They really pushed Newcastle's defence to the limits in that game, getting 2 goals. Very good by Wolverhampton Wanderers in that game, and very good overall recently. On the other hand, Sheffield United are the complete opposite. Not good. They've obviously had a lot of injuries. They leave teams so much space. It's the same thing week in, week out. They've conceded so many goals. And maybe in this one they could get something, especially that Neto's gone. But I still feel like the likes of Cunha and Hwang, and obviously Wolves are doing very, very well in recent times. So I'm going to have to go for Wolves. I'm sorry, Sheffield United. It's not going to be your day again. I will back you up to get a goal. But overall, I'm going a 3-1 away win to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Moving on to the next game, it's at Turf Moor. It's Burnley versus Crystal Palace. And Burnley was so close of getting a point against AFC Bournemouth. It was unlucky. Obviously, it took around 5.5 minutes for VAR to actually get the right decision for that offside goal at the end, which is quite annoying. Poor by VAR again. Let's stop ranting on about VAR. Let's talk about this game. Crystal Palace, I think they're still without Eze and Elise. In the Crystal Palace game against Spurs, there was a time where Crystal Palace linked up really, really well, passing it around, really good football, and it ended up to Will Hughes. He was running. It looked like he was going to run all the way to the goal, but he just didn't have the legs for that. And I felt like in that position, if Eze or Elise was there, then they would have been able to get another goal against Spurs in that position. So I feel like they have slightly missed those 2 players going forward, because they haven't scored too many goals. But obviously Jordan Ayew, a fantastic volley. And going against Burnley, I would say Crystal Palace are the favourites, but I'm going to go for a draw. And this is mainly because Burnley, they're at home. They're desperate for points. Feel like it's going to be dominant football from Crystal Palace. I'm backing up Burnley to get some points once again. I'm going for a 1-1 just about draw for Burnley. Moving on to the next game, it is Everton versus Brighton. It's at Goodison Park. And last game, Everton did very well to get a 1-0 win. Defensive structure was fantastic. You know, very, very good. Patterson, the Everton defender, did very well in that defence to make sure West Ham doesn't have too many chances. Calvert-Lewin, his third goal of the Premier League season. He's still fit and he gets a goal. It was a great goal, can I say. Very good by Calvert-Lewin, very good by Everton. They're definitely on good form. And they're facing Brighton and Hove Albion, which hasn't won for a while. You know, the last 4 games they haven't won. But you know what? They controlled the game against Fulham. They controlled it beautifully against Fulham. Even Ferguson, great goal for Brighton. And I think Brighton, they haven't won for a while, so I think they're scheduled a win away against Everton. I am going for a Brighton win, but Everton have looked very good, so you never know. But Brighton is going to win this 3-1 in my opinion. I feel like Brighton are going to get back on form. Moving on to the next game, it's Newcastle United at St James's Park facing Arsenal. This is a huge, huge game, and I feel like this could be a draw. Newcastle have shown good signs, but the big news of Sandro Tonali having a 10-month ban is huge. It's a huge setback for Newcastle United. Alexander Isak injured, but Newcastle still have Callum Wilson. Obviously, they've got that big game against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup. And obviously, they did lose 1-0 to Dortmund as well. And they only got a draw against Wolves. And in my opinion, in that game, the defence struggled a bit, you know. From the speed of Wolves' attack, they kind of struggled to keep up with that Wolves attack. Conceded 2 goals. And I feel like at the moment, Arsenal are in a better state than Newcastle United. And I have a feeling that Arsenal are going to win this because Arsenal are a very good team. I am going for 1-0 even at St James's Park. I am going for 1-0 against Arsenal. I do support Newcastle United, so I'm not happy in saying this, but I am going for 1-0 to Arsenal. I just got that feeling that Arsenal are going to win it, but obviously I could easily see a draw in this game. Moving on to the next game, it's actually a whole new day. It's the 5th of November. It's Nottingham Forest at the City Ground at home against Aston Villa. And Aston Villa, 12 home games in a row. They're not home here. They're on the road at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest obviously are known for good results at the City Ground from last season. Well, they lost at 3-0 against Liverpool, but it's at Anfield. It was against Liverpool. It wasn't the easiest of games, you could say. But now they're facing Aston Villa, and it does not get easier in this game. I think even at the City Ground, they are going to lose this. Aston Villa are looking too good. Moussa Diaby looking fantastic, looking threatening. A great little low-driven volley in his last game. Very good. So on that note, Aston Villa are looking really good. So I'm going for a 2-1 away win to Aston Villa. Moving on to the next game, it's Luton Town at Kenworth Road against Liverpool. Liverpool will be travelling to that small stadium of Kenworth Road. And Liverpool, obviously, as I just said, won 3-0 against Nottingham Forest. And they are probably going to be missing Luis Diaz after that sad thing has happened. But even without Luis Diaz, they still look fantastic. You know, a great 3-0 win. And against Luton Town, they have been improving. Obviously, they didn't play particularly well against Aston Villa, but Aston Villa was a very hard game for them. At home against Liverpool, I mean, I don't really need to speak about this game anymore. Liverpool 3, Luton Town 1. Sorry, Luton Town, but you don't have enough quality yet to compete against Liverpool, even at home. Moving on to the next game, it's on the 6th of November, another big game. You could say this is the biggest game. You can also say the Newcastle-Arsenal game is also the biggest. But it is Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium facing Chelsea, a huge London derby in Chelsea. The concerning points, the problem has occurred again after 3 games without the problem. After scoring 8 goals in 3 games. Doing very well against Arsenal. They should have got 3 points against Arsenal. They go lose it 2-0 to Brentford. And well, overall, they created chances. They were dominant in that first half. So many chances they could have put away. But again, Nicholas Jackson, he's not that prolific, clinical striker that Chelsea needs. And Nkunku's still injured. And they are missing a proper striker. Jackson just isn't moving into the right areas for that number 9 striker. And it is concerning for Chelsea. But they did show good signs in that. The second half wasn't really fantastic by Chelsea. It wasn't too many chances. But the first half was very good by Chelsea in terms of how they created the chances. But Tottenham Hotspur win again against Crystal Palace. They're doing very well. They've got home advantage. They're doing very, very well. But I feel like this London derby will cheer Chelsea on. And because Chelsea played very well against Arsenal, they deserve to win. They have shown signs in those 3 games. I feel like the signs are going to pop up again. You know, that Brentford one was kind of the signs of the old Chelsea. I feel like the new Chelsea is going to come in here and do a good job. I don't feel like they're going to win. And I feel like this London derby is going to cheer them on to do 2 times hard work. And it's going to be a 2-2 draw. Tottenham are a very good team, but this London derby, it's going to be a close one. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. I could definitely see Tottenham winning this, but I am going for a 2-2 draw. And for game week 10, I'm putting it to Eddie Nketiah's goal versus Sheffield United. He got 3 of them, but the one that skyrocketed it to the top left. A great way to sail off a great hat-trick. And that will be the end of my video. Before I do wrap up, let's see how I did in Game Week 10. In Game Week 10 was quite an average week with only 7 points out of 20 points. I got 2 exact results. I got that Aston Villa will win against Luton Town 3-1. And I got that Crystal Palace will lose 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. And I got a few other results right, but not the exact predictions. That puts me on a total of 71 points out of 200 points out of all the games this season. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe, and always remember to turn on notifications to never miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I'll see you next time. Toodle pip now.